Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and this is the Inspiration Show. Today on the show, we are going to be talking about children, the future of our children, where they are now, and how we can help them through a special program called the Joy Kids Universe. And I'd like to introduce Joanne Henig, who is actually the founder of this amazing program and this amazing movement. So how are you, Joanne?
I'm doing great, Natalie. Thanks for the opportunity to be on your global network. It's a real great opportunity for our company to be seen before the eyes of the world, and that's part of the goal, part of the mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as you know, this is something that's very close to my heart because we have also we've started working with a university in Colombia,
Mm-hmm.
and we're committed to reaching 10,000 underprivileged children there in 2015.
Wow.
So we're both on the same page, which is why I wanted to have you here on the show to talk about this program. So why don't we start first of all with your story and your background and how you got into creating this?
Yeah, very interesting from my perspective anyway. About 12 years ago, my family and I were struck by the tragic and sudden passing of my mother and my brother. And for me, this began an experience, a journey of self-discovery and a need for me personally to find answers to some age-old questions, mainly what is the purpose of life and why am I here? And my curiosity initially sent me looking for some answers through religion, and then after that, I began taking appointments with psychic mediums and the like. And at the time, I was getting a little bit of relief and a little further down the path in answering these questions, but I really didn't get the full answers that I was looking for. In fact, what was happening to me was that my questions were becoming more and more elaborate. So I was open, and I was still seeking to try and find these answers. And as the universe always does, it delivered to me that which I desired most, which was the answers to those questions. And I later came to understand this, the law of attraction, the energy of attraction, but I didn't know at the time that that's what I was experiencing. So again, as the universe would have it, during the same time period, a dear friend of mine was beginning her journey coming out of her intuitive closet, as we would call it. She was becoming an intuitive life coach. And we had, and we still have, many sessions of discussions exploring a lot of different topics, as you can probably imagine. But in the early stages, the main topic remained always, I need answers to my questions. So we kept going back and forth, and her teachings brought me closer and closer to the answers that I was looking for. And her first book, ironically, was titled The Answers, and it was in the pages of that book where I finally found the answers to my questions. So the first question is, what is the purpose of life? And the purpose of life that resonates with me is that we are here. The purpose of life is for us to love, to create, and to learn. In that order, there are no exceptions. And then why am I here? I'm here to love. Very simply, I'm here to love. Now, my journey, it expanded further and further down the path, more so into self-discovery. And about 2 years ago, a very important discovery hit me in a very profound way. I was moved to uncontrollable tears, but they were tears of joy. Because what I discovered at that time was that I am love. I am love. And from that not so simple revelation, everything in my life changed, and the manifesting began in earnest. So I have to say to you, Natalie, I know I took the Ultimate Success Masterclass. And going through that course, that was proof positive for me that I am love, and that the principles of the law of attraction, gratitude, appreciation, that all of those things were going to be the basis for everything good in my life and everything new that I would create. Now, I've been an entrepreneur my entire career. I've built several businesses, but the latest adventure, the Joy Kids Universe, was born out of the seeking the answers to those two questions. And by getting those answers, what is the purpose of life and why am I here, out of that came a new Joanne, if you will, and a new mission to bring these principles to the youngest people on the planet, the kids of the next generation. Well, that's what we're really looking to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually remember when you were going through USM, and the journey that you were going through, and then how this came, was birthed after that. And it's really interesting how you say the new Joanne, because I could sometimes refer to myself as Nat 2.0 because it's like I'm again stepping into this more aligned, more aware, more conscious version of myself, and again realizing that everything comes from love. And I've even this year have even stepped up a little bit further, and I'm making a point that even with my internal chatter, because I have a habit of, holding myself to a very high standard and not meeting it and then beating myself up mentally, but just even the way that I talk to myself inside my own mind, I always ask the question, is that coming from a place of love?
Yes.
If not, I change the conversation that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I did the interview with Panache Desai last year, and I was talking about Nat 2.0, the new Nat. He goes, no. He goes, it's the old Nat. He goes, it's the original Nat. And I'm maybe suggesting to you that's the original Joanne.
It is.
Who we are and where we came from. We're starting to remember and identify and connect more with that,
right.
which is amazing.
One of the things, let me interrupt you for a second, but you just touched on something very important. One of the things is that we're born pure, we're born free, we're born of pure love and wide open. And what happens is, as we are going through our earliest stages as in our childhood, our parents, our siblings, our teachers, our aunts, uncles, grandparents begin to cloak and layer us with misbeliefs. And we go through life getting more and more cloaked and more layered with everybody else's opinions and beliefs of what it is that we should be doing with our life or should be thinking. And what ends up happening, you get to a point later down the road, 30, 40, 50, some folks even later, saying, how did all this stuff get on me? Get it off. I want to get back to being the original, the one, because you know that all of those other things, they don't resonate with you. If it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel right, then you know it's not true. It's not real. It's coming from a different place, not of a place from love.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Joy Kids Universe, how are you getting children to identify and connect with that more earlier in life? Is that tell us the message behind Joy Kids Universe?
Well, the message is joy. What we're doing is focusing on providing a positive message using mixed media. We want to inspire young children to love without judgment, to create without limits, and to learn freely and joyfully each day. We've begun spreading joy to the young children, and our market is preschool, 3, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. We're spreading the joy to the kids through book 1 of our 5-part book series, which I've authored the first book, The Joyful Universe of Casey Rose and the Joy Bug. The book series is delightful. The characters are beautiful. They bring smiles to little faces. I've done readings in preschools around my area, and the kids just absolutely identify either with Casey Rose or with the Joy Bug. They were bringing principles and the power of compassion and gratitude and positive thinking. We want to deepen a child's understanding of love for everything in their world, not just a nice bowl of spaghetti, but everything else in their life, and especially for them to learn to love themselves and to know it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to wear that funny shirt, even though somebody says, why are you wearing that funny shirt? If that feels good on you, then wear it. Be free. Be free. So express yourself, and express yourself with joy. And we feel that if we can help solidify a new generation of children where their primary belief system comes from a place of joy and love and gratitude and appreciation, then the future leaders of our beautiful world are going to be magnificent. And that's what we're hoping to get to. Phase 1, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing with because I was actually asked to create a curriculum for 6 to 12-year-olds in Columbia. And it was the same thing. I'm like, okay, I got people, the children, it's designed to help build their self-esteem, but for them to celebrate what makes them unique and different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's not something that they can, that's a weak spot that they can be teased about. It's like, no, be proud of that. Like, this is a good thing. and to teach them how to look for the best in others, you know, and how to look for the better things in other people, as well as the power of their thoughts, the power of their words, and we also included in there exercises and homework for them to take home and do with the family.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even in their environment, they're able to have that influence as well.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things in the back of the book that I wrote, we do have journal pages for the children. Now, again, they're preschoolers primarily, but after they're finished reading the book, we give them an opportunity to write down the things that made them feel happy today, so that they can go back and remember you know, if I had a bad day, as a child has a bad day, the parent or the grandparent or the caregiver can go back and say, well, let's grab that book and let's remember those things that made you feel joyful and happy and made you feel good. Yeah. And that instantly erases a lot of whatever's going on. You know, kids get all enamored by many, many different things in their life, and some things are not good. So the little joyful thoughts, those little happy moments that they can remember, brings them right back around to being on the side of joy.
Exactly. And what you're doing is helping them adopt a successful habit.
Yes.
Like this is a tool. This is a habit that they can use. That then, and we know how susceptible children are, especially at this age between 2 and 6, when in a state of brainwave activity, and they are sponges. These kind of lessons, and what I find is the things that make the most impression and that are stored the hardest, or the most difficult in there, are the ones that have an emotional attachment to them. So if we can surround something with such a positive emotional attachment like you're doing here with these books, then these are the lessons that really permeate their subconscious mind and that they'll carry through life. Yeah. So I so love what you're doing. So, okay, so if we've got any like teachers or parents or anyone that are watching the show at the moment that would like to purchase these books, how can they get their hands on them?
Well, I believe there's a link on the side of the page on your website, and also through our website, joykidsuniverse.com. Practically every link that you click on will bring you to the purchase of the book. We're very excited about the ability to get this book into as many hands as possible. We are right now working with a company called Children's Television Network. We're putting together an agreement. We just had meetings yesterday. We're putting together the ability for Casey Rose and the Joy Bug to be featured on the children's television networks and hospitals, pediatric hospitals around the country, so that we can bring joys and smile to those that need it the most, to not only the patients in the beds, but also to their parents and their caregivers. So this is another great opportunity for folks to connect with the characters. And we know we're onto something when hospitals are coming to us and saying, we want the Joy Bug. We want the Joy Bug, so that we can, bring some smiles to folks that are probably not feeling so great at the moment. Yeah, it's a good thing.
So guys, if you click on the banner to the side there, if you're online, or the banner underneath, if you're watching this on the app, you can go straight through to that. So I think there's one more thing that I really want to cover with you before we go, only because I know the journey that you've been on. Now, do you have children, Joanne? Do you have children?
I do. I have 2 children.
You do? Okay. So I know that this was, you're going through like a new version of yourself, and you've come across this idea for Joy Kids Universe. Can you tell me how you felt, or how you realized that this was the opportunity or the direction that you should be traveling?
Wow, that's a great question. You just feel it. I don't even know how else to explain it. Again, I really firmly believe that the energy of the universe comes through when you're open to it, and I absolutely was open. I had a 12-year journey, as I said to you. The last 2 years, I think a year ago is when I completed the USM course, which I think was like the exclamation point to everything that I was going through. And one of the things that manifested out of the USM was this company, Joy Kids Universe. I was approached at the very beginning of the course by a good friend of mine, who's now one of my business partners in the project, saying, I'd like for you to speak with this fella who has this character called the Joy Bug. And one thing just led to the other. And as I was writing my intention statements, everything just it was like the clicking of the gears of a well-oiled machine. Everything just click, 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 click came together. And it just flowed out from somewhere else. I guess that's where it came from.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, congratulations on the book. And, you know, this is just the beginning. You know.
It is just the beginning. And thank you very much again, Natalie. I really do greatly appreciate spending time with you. I'll see you in San Diego.
Fantastic.
Take care.
Thank you. Now, guys, I encourage you to share this video. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. I also encourage you to leave your email on the box on this page so I can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's actually valued at $87, and I'd love to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.